53 years. Do you have any idea how many days that is? How many hours? I was a doctor, and in those 53 years I signed 4,000 death certificates. 4,000 times I heard that sound, pen on paper, the scratch that means finished, story over. And I want to tell you something honest, something most doctors will not say out loud. Most of those 4,000 people did not have to go when they did. They gave up early. Not genetics, not bad luck. Their own daily habits killed them. Small ones, quiet ones. The kind you wave away because you are not Superman and nothing hurts yet. I am 102 years old and I am still here talking to you. Patients of mine who were 30 years younger are already in the ground. You want to know why? I figured out 5 killers. 5 things you are doing right now that are eating you alive. Number 1, the chair. Right now, as you watch this, you are probably sitting comfortable, soft, and inside your body everything is slowing down to a swamp. I noticed this back in the 70s. I had a patient, a factory floor manager, big man, fists like sledgehammers, spent his entire day at his desk on the phone. He had a secretary, small woman, always moving, always on her feet, coffee here, documents there, up and down all day long. The manager died at 64. Heart stopped. The secretary lived to 90. She was still dancing at his memorial. Why? Because when you sit, your blood thickens. It turns to syrup. Gravity pulls everything down into your legs. Your lymphatic system, which is your body's drain, your sewage system, does not have a pump. It runs on movement. You stop moving, the drain stops working. Toxins build. Inflammation climbs. And that, I can tell you from 4,000 cases, ends badly. I had a judge I knew personally, proud man, important man, boasted every morning about his 45-minute workout, sweated through it, worked hard, thought he was outsmarting his age. Then he drove to court and sat in his chair for 10 hours, died at 61, stroke. His morning exercise did not save him from his daytime stillness. You cannot stockpile health in the morning and spend it all day sitting. You have to move through the whole day. I set an alarm every hour. Every hour it rings and I stand up. Sometimes I just drink a glass of water. Sometimes I look out the window. It does not matter. What matters is that my legs keep working. Because legs that stop working become an anchor. Number 2, sleep. I love these people. Doctor, I sleep 5 hours a night and I feel fantastic. You do not feel fantastic. You feel like someone who has forgotten what fantastic feels like. Your brain at night functions as a cleaning crew. While you are unconscious, channels open up inside the brain, repair systems activate, waste gets sorted and removed. I will not bore you with the technical language. The simple version is this: deep sleep is not optional, it is maintenance. If you sleep 5 or 6 hours, the cleaning crew does not finish the job. The waste stays night after night, year after year. It accumulates. And then one day you cannot remember where you put your keys. Then you cannot remember your grandchildren's names. I watched people who were proud of sleeping little. By 60, they could not find the bathroom in their own house. And waking 5 times a night is not age, it is illness. If you are up every hour, that is your body telling you something is wrong. Go find out what it is. Sleep like you are dead so you can wake up alive. Number 3, loneliness. You think this one is soft, emotional, not medical. You are wrong. Loneliness is a physical stress state. Your body interprets isolation the same way it interprets being abandoned in a forest at night, alone, surrounded by predators. Cortisol floods your system, inflammation spreads. Everything that was manageable becomes acute. Everything that was quiet becomes loud. I watched old men with hearts like bad engines, kidneys barely working, livers held together with hope, and they kept going because their houses were full. Grandchildren arguing, neighbors coming by for sugar, friends dropping in unannounced. They creaked, but they lived. And I watched strong men, wealthy men, men with clean blood work and good genetics, Wife gone, children estranged, sitting alone in a large house like a bird in an empty cage. Gone within 2 years. Cancer or a cardiac event, depending on which gave out first. You need people. It does not have to be family. It does not have to be anyone impressive. Go to a chess club. Call an old friend you have not spoken to in 10 years. Argue with the cashier at the grocery store if that is all you have. Do not let the silence eat you from the inside. Number 4. Food. This is where I get angry. Genuinely angry. For 40 years, my profession told you that fat was poison. Eat your oatmeal. Drink your juice. Bread is the foundation of life. We were wrong. And we grew a generation of diabetics on that advice. Sugar, white bread, instant grains, processed everything, that is not food, that is filler. That is something you put in a body to stop it complaining for a few hours. After 60, your metabolism is a different machine than the one you had at 40. What you ate at 40 and got away with will come back at 70 in your blood work and your blood pressure and your inability to get off the floor without assistance. I threw out my sugar bowl at 65, stopped buying bread. I eat meat, fish, eggs, vegetables, butter. Fat is what your brain runs on. That thin, low-fat, tasteless nonsense you have been told to eat is not keeping you alive. It is keeping you quiet. My blood work at my last checkup was better than most 40-year-olds I know, and the patients who lived on crackers and avoided butter and did everything the poster on the wall said to do, I have signed most of their certificates already. Number 5. Anxiety. The quietest killer of the 5. The one that leaves no obvious mark. I have known professional warriors my entire career. Everything in their life is objectively fine. Pensions sorted, children grown and settled, no immediate crisis anywhere. And they sit and they shake. What if prices go up? What if it rains on Sunday? What did the neighbor mean by that? Look, anxiety is acid. It dissolves you from the inside. Your stomach tightens. Your blood pressure spikes. Your sleep fractures. Your immune system, which needs calm to function, runs ragged. I watched patients die of fear of dying before any actual dying was required, and I watched others laugh into the face of diagnoses that should have finished them, and those were often the ones who walked out. Let me tell you about my wife, Maria. We were married 61 years, and I loved her more than I knew how to say. She was stubborn as a mule, and I adored her for it. But her knees hurt, so she stopped walking. She sat in front of the television because moving was uncomfortable. She ate what her mother had taught her to eat, pastries and bread and sweet things, because it made her happy, she said. And she worried. Lord, how she worried. About the grandchildren, about politics, about the weather, about things that had not happened and would probably never happen. She died 8 years ago. She was 94. You might think that sounds like a good run. And I would have agreed with you except for the last 15 years. The last 15 years were not life. They were existence. I watched her mind go dark by degrees. I watched her become someone who needed me to do for her what you do for a very young child. She did not know my name at the end. She did not know her own. She could have lived those years. We could have walked together and talked and laughed and been old together in the good sense of that word. But she chose the easy path, the comfortable chair, the sweet pastry, the familiar worry. And the easy path, I have seen this 4,000 times, very often leads to a very hard ending. I live alone now. I cook my own meals. I clean my own house. I walk in the park in rain and snow, and I do not care about the weather because I am going regardless. I call my grandchildren even when they are busy. I sleep on a schedule as strict as anything I kept in my working years. I am nothing special. I simply want to live rather than merely last. You hear that sound? That is time. And while you have been sitting here listening to me, you moved 5 minutes closer to the end of your own story. What are you going to do when this video finishes? Stay in the chair? Make a sandwich? Turn on the news so you have something new to worry about? Then do not complain later. 4,000 people did not listen. Do not be the 4,001st. Get up. Right now. Stand up and move your body. If this was useful to you, leave one word below so I know I was not talking into empty air. Tell me what keeps you living rather than just lasting. Someone watching this right now needs to hear it. Take care of yourself.